college baseball could be back this summer thanks to this guy right here, Uri Geva of the Brazos Valley Bombers and everything going on in sports around these parts. Uri, thanks so much for giving us a few minutes of your time. You have a big college baseball event that's going to be coming up here in June. If you wouldn't mind just lay out a little bit about the kind of the origins of how this all came together and what college baseball fans can expect here in June.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So csbi2020.com is where you'll get all the information in case you forget or we cover too little or too much information here. But the Collegiate Summer Baseball Invitational will be in Bryan College Station on June 4th through the 6th here in the city of Bryan, the headquarter of all baseball in college, right? And we were thinking about how sad it is that there's not a College World Series. And we were watching the different reports talking about the bubble that they were trying to think of. How does Major League Baseball make this happen? How does Major League Baseball start to play with COVID-19? And they kept talking about this bubble in Arizona. And we started visiting internally between the Bomber staff, some of my technology partners, and Infinity Sports and Entertainment. And we were just like, how do we do this? And what are all the obstacles that they have? And then you read the stories about Dr. Fauci saying, hey, step 1, 2, 3, this is what would require of MLB to come back. And we're like, well, if we could do all those things, we could have something here in Bryan College Station. And so that's how the idea started at the beginning of April, as all sports are canceled and everybody wants to watch sports. Everybody wants a little bit of relief of the quarantining, or even now that, we're opened up in Texas, not the whole state is open, not the whole country's open. And even here locally, I mean, some people are still not feeling safe to go out, different age, different beliefs as to what COVID-19 is doing. And so we thought about all this stuff. We put together all the logistics. We called the healthcare officials in our community, said, hey, this is our plan. We want to follow exactly what Dr. Fauci is saying. We're saying exactly what MLB would do, except we're actually going to do it because we can, because it's just a week. We're not talking about quarantining people for 3 months of a season. We're not talking about thousands of people that need to be quarantined. We're talking about 100 baseball players. Can this be done? And the enthusiasm and the support we got from healthcare officials, from city officials, from the Economic Development Corporation, everybody from the chamber, hey, this would be great. You've got our blessing. Make it happen.
Yeah, how difficult of a sell was it to local healthcare officials, to those kinds of people? It sounds like since you had your ducks in the row, it wasn't too difficult.
No, it was actually been more challenging to get the official A-OK on the nonprofit because our goal is also to raise money. 5% of all retail sales from this event, from the subscriptions, from the pay-per-view, will go to a nonprofit to be named soon. The legal terms and the hoops we had to jump with them were more challenging than the understandings. Again, the steps and the things we're going to do. The players are going to arrive on June 1st. They will all get tested for COVID-19. Obviously, if they have any symptoms before they even get here, they will not be allowed to make the travel and make the trip here. Once they've been tested, everybody gets a room at a local hotel. They'll stay there. That will be their safe quarantine location. We are going to bring food to the facility, to the hotel, so they're not going out to pick up a pack of smokes or anything. They're staying in the hotel. Obviously, I'm sure college athletes these days, we would hope, are not smoking, but they're not leaving the rooms other than in our shuttles to go to the ballpark to have practice. So they'll have practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, get that rust off. Obviously, they're talented. They're probably pitching at home or hitting at home, but they haven't seen live action since early March. And this will give them 3 days of intensive practice to get back in gear. And then Thursday night, we'll have our first game. Thursday, 2 games. Friday, 2 games. And 2 games on Saturday. A double elimination tournament that all the games will be streamed online in a pay-per-view type manner.
Now, I know that y'all are still getting some of the final touches on some of the rosters and waiting to release some of those players in the future. How solidified have you made those rosters yet, or how fluid is the roster situation?
One of the things is we have great relationships with our 14-year history in summer collegiate baseball. And so Brian Nelson is heading up the project of filling in 100 players from across the country when there are thousands of players who want to play in this. So we started with the core people that we know and we trust in the industry. And then as this thing has gone live today, we have had an outpouring of requests to play in this. And so it's going to be based on recommendations of college coaches from across the country. Hey, I've got this guy. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's 6'8". He throws 102. He's committed to my university. I want to see him pitch in this thing. Or, hey, I've got an All-American that goes, that bats and pitches. I think he'd be a great addition, and I'm from this big university, or I'm from this small university. So that task, I'm lucky that I'm not involved. All I'm going to do is people come to me and say, oh, I've got this guy. I'm going to forward them on to our baseball operations staff and Brian Nelson and the folks that he's got on his team to make sure that we pick the best talent. We'll have pre-draft guys because the draft is on June 10th and our event will be over. So we'll have draft eligible guys. We'll have draft ineligible guys, meaning that they're still in college, committed to college, but they might be wanting to transfer from one university to another. And then you might have some guys that are just trying to hone their skills and trying to get more at-bats or more pitching time when they get back to college. And so, and the scouts are going to be there. So even if you're not draft eligible for this year in 2020, you might want to showcase so that you're on the draft for 2021. So tough job for Brian Nelson and the team on that side. My job is to make sure that everybody across the country knows, everybody is excited about this event. They know that we've got safety first, that we're taking this COVID-19 very serious, and that we're taking the technology part to make sure that the stream is top-notch, ESPN level of a broadcast and the quality that you'll be able to stream on your laptop, on your mobile device, or on your TV with Fire Stick or Apple TV or whatever it is so that you connect the internet to your TV, to your smart device.
How long has this process been? I know you mentioned y'all sat back and wanted and wished that there was a College World Series about this time. How long has this process taken to kind of get from the conceptual ideas of it to this launch today, this announcement today?
We started this morning. Was kind of, we were like, hey, let's, no, I'm kidding, of course. Over 30 days since late March, early May, early April. But in COVID time and quarantine time, I think it feels like a lot more than 30 days because everybody's working around the clock. There's not a good life-home balance, unfortunately, to all of us because we're homeschooling kids and everybody's got people running around. And so we had calls about this at 7 a.m. We've had calls about this at midnight and 2 a.m. So it was pretty much around the clock for over 30 days to try to make this thing happen.
Sure. And then, so there won't be any fans in attendance, but they will be able to stream. How much of that information do you have for people who are interested in wanting to watch this?
No, absolutely. So individual games will be $20 or $19.95 if you want to watch a game, just one at a time, Thursday night or Friday night. If you want the best package, it's buying the whole tournament. Right now, for the first 2,000 subscribers, it's $49.95. And then afterwards, it would be $59.95. And then as you get closer to the event, the price goes up a little bit more. From a streaming perspective, you just go to the website, csbi2020.com, and it's simple. You put your credit card and you buy it and you get your subscription. So really simple on that front for people to get to watch it. There will be media personnel and there will be scouts. So, if you look behind me, you see Travis Field. It's a pretty big grandstand, right? 1,500 seats just in the grandstand alone. And so we're going to make sure that the media is there and they're split. Section E, row 1 is for the Eagle. Section D, row 2 is for Dallas Morning News or whoever else is going to want to be in attendance. So they won't have to be quarantined. And then everything inside the white lines, those folks will be quarantined from our personnel, our staff, our umpires will all have to stay at the same hotel, ride the same shuttles. Make sure that everybody is protected. There'll be separate bathrooms and restrooms for people to utilize from the quarantine and the non-quarantine parts. And even the non-quarantine, all will have to have face masks and protective gear to make sure that, you guys aren't passing it to one another in the media. We need you guys healthy to cover this, right?
Sure, exactly. And then I know you mentioned the testing. What would you know? Is it going to be the swab testing or the antibody testing? Do you know much into the details of that, or what health provider is kind of helping you out with doing that as well and guiding you as in those issues?
Yeah, no worries. I love the Holiday Inn Express jokes back in the day. I stayed at Holiday Inn Express, therefore I'm a doctor. But I'm not a doctor. And Baylor Scott & White Health has been a great partner of the Bombers for many, many years. We're very proud of our relationship with them. They've been an amazing leader when it came to COVID-19 and protecting our entire community. And so they'll be the folks we'll be working with once the players get here and before the players leave to go back. So we're not sending the virus back out in case they did get it. And so I don't know the exact test. And obviously I think there'll be 2 or 3 new tests maybe by the end of the month before we get to June 1. And so trust our healthcare officials and Baylor Scott and White Health to tell us which test and the fastest way to get it.
And then finally, there's very few sports happening in the world, and still at that point will be very few sports happening in the world. What does it mean to you to be kind of one of the people to help start bring back and reacquaint, re-socialize sport in Bryan College Station of all places, kind of around the world?
Well, one of the things when we started talking about this is we love sports. We miss it. It's part of our life as fans, as people who work in the industry. Maybe this gives a chance to the rest of the world to see how a bubble can work on a small scale. As a business entrepreneur, to me, the lean model is something that MLB can't do a lean model. They have 30 teams. It's a big operation. We're a small organization. This will be a 1-week event. Therefore, it can happen where maybe it gives the world a glimpse of what sports could be. It'd be exciting to have something happen here. We're proud of being from Bryan College Station. It's a great community. We'll have an ability to highlight it in between as there'll be some breaks in the action. But I think most importantly, the thought that as we've all been dealing with this and we've been struggling for content and for something that's uplifting and for something that's inspiring, you're going to see some amazing college athletes give it their all, play their hearts out, and know that they're entertaining hopefully millions of people across the U.S. and giving them a glimpse of hope that the future is not that far and normality, no matter what it looks like, is just around the corner. And America's pastime is going to be played, and we're blessed to have it here in Bryan College Station with the support of our local officials.
Uri, thanks so much for giving us a few minutes of your time, and good luck with these endeavors. I know we all need a little bit of a sport in our life.
Yeah, play ball.
Exactly. And one more time, if you want to throw out your website one more time.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. CSBI2020.com. All the information is there and your ability to get your subscription and get it early so you can save some money.